to the entertaining Talkin' Sports.
What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. And in this video, we're going to talk about the very talented tight end for the New York Giants and also the very frequently injured tight end, Evan Engram. Evan Engram has been with the New York Giants now for 3 years. He has missed 14 games. He has missed almost a complete season since being a New York Giant in just 3 years due to injuries, which is why I've been on record of saying that I would look to trade this guy under, given the right deal, because I don't necessarily think he will be in the long-term plans for the New York Giants. In addition to that, another member of the tight end squad who a lot of people want to cut due to salary cap, giving us more flexibility, Rhett Ellison, has come out and said that he is contemplating retirement due to a concussion that I don't think he has fully recovered from yet. And he's up there in age, so he has thought about retiring. Of course, last year we had the emergence of Caden Smith, but some news just dropped on Evan Engram that he will be in that walking boot longer than expected. Now, because of this, I don't think the New York Giants will be able to trade him this offseason, and it may not be the end of the world. Hopefully, he's ready to go by week 1, but we'll have to wait and see. In the article, and I'll pull up the exact quote, it does say that they're not 100% sure he'll even be back by the start of training camp. It seems as if that is the earliest time in which he will be back to full strength for the Giants. And this is a huge offseason for the Giants regarding Evan Engram, and of course, Evan Engram himself. It's his 4th year, meaning that before the year starts in May, the Giants have to make the decision of whether or not to extend him on his rookie contract. Now, the Tennessee Titans were given the same ultimatum last year with Jack Conklin, and they decided not to do so, and now Conklin is hitting free agency. But I'll get into the options that the New York Giants may have with Evan Engram if they want to keep him after this year and not necessarily extend him to a long-term contract. But I think it's less and less likely that they're going to be able to trade him, being that he's going to be in a walking boot until training camp, and less likely that they're going to extend him on his 5th-year deal of his rookie contract. But let's jump into the story. Let's look at the exact quote of Evan Engram. Engram remains in a walking boot after his late December foot surgery. He is one of the NFL's best receiving tight ends when healthy, but has missed 14 games due to injury in his 3-year career. The Giants must decide by May whether to pick up Evan Engram's 5th-year option for 2021. He is expected to be sidelined until training camp. And then later in the article, it went on to say that it's not even a guarantee he'll be back by training camp. And let's say he gets back a week or two into training camp. You still got to, get into football shape. There's no guarantee he'll even be able to start the season for the New York Giants. Hopefully that's not the case. He's one of the players that I'm really looking forward to this year in this New York Giants offense. Being that he didn't have a lot of time together with Daniel Jones, and Jason Garrett's offense historically is built around the tight end position. Just look at Jason Witten, obviously the Air Coryell. You go back to the San Diego Chargers. They were famous for the pass-catching tight end with Kellen Winslow. So we'll have to wait and see, and hopefully he's ready to go for the start of the season. But as far as trading him goes or extending him on that rookie deal, because of this, I don't see it happening. I honestly didn't really see it being a very realistic option either way, even without this news coming out. Because of his injury history, I don't think the Giants would have extended him. And because of his talent, I don't necessarily know if the Giants would have traded him. We're going to have to wait and see. But I think the best option for the Giants, if they decide they want to keep this guy for another year and see if he could remain healthy after this season, if they do not extend him on the rookie deal, would probably be to franchise tag him. Of course, you could always release him and potentially get a comp pick. However, that is a little complicated because if you spend the money somewhere else in free agency that exceeds Evan Engram's contract, you are not then rewarded with that comp pick. So it's something the Giants would have to balance and figure out. But if they wanted to keep him, I think the best option for Engram next year would potentially be the franchise tag on a 1-year deal. Of course, he has to stay healthy, he has to be productive, and even if he is, I would not be willing to give him a long-term contract, just for the simple reason this guy's basically missed a full season over his first 3 years, and now he's had a setback again with this injury. But here is the tag right now for the tight end position. If you look right there, it is $10.7 million this year. That will only go up the following year, but you figure it'll be around $11 million, which I might be willing to spend on a playmaking tight end if he could display he's healthy, and it would only be a 1-year commitment. And then after that, well, that's when you make your decision of whether or not you want to keep him on with the New York Giants. But the fact of the matter is, realistically, because of his injury history, because I feel like the New York Giants are going to have to spend money elsewhere on some of the players on this roster to keep him here long-term, guys like Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones, some of the guys on the defense, whether it's Dalvin Tomlinson, Dexter Lawrence, DeAndre Baker, whoever it may be, I don't see Evan Engram being here long term. You might get 2 more years out of him. We'll have to wait and see, though. Maybe he stays healthy this year, and maybe the Giants feel like he's worth a long-term commitment. But it does not look good, at least for the start of the 2020 year for Evan Engram. He's already had a reported setback. People thought he'd be back much sooner than this. Now this seems as if it's going to drag into training camp, which kills his offseason trade value. It also kills the possibility of the Giants extending him on that rookie deal, which would have been the best way to go if they could trust this guy, because you don't pay him, nearly as much as you would if you had to franchise tag him. But it is what it is. The Giants will be without, potentially, their best option in the passing game, at least for the start of training camp, and hopefully it does not linger into the regular season. But as always, guys, if you liked what you watched, please subscribe, drop a comment, maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.